Hello and welcome to techbuzzireland. Today we have the Tapo P100 mini smart Wi-Fi socket. It's a box there. And what is actually the Tapo 2 P100? It's a smart switch. 13 amp rating, so obviously you can use it in your standard plug that we're all familiar with. TP-Link is a brand that we're all familiar with. And it's a live smarter, mini smart for Wi-Fi socket, standard plug. And all the information, bits of information there. Mini Wi-Fi, couple of text specs there, size, temperatures. I suppose more importantly, what we're really interested in is the features: remote control, schedule and timer, voice control, easy setup, away mode, and flame retardant. Easy setup is true if you're used to it and you're used to setting them up, but it can get a little bit complicated, and I'll go through the setup in a few moments. Probably on the box itself, one of the most important parts was this QR code. It does come with an instruction book, but 95% of it is in a different language, so it's not as much of any use to anything. But the main part is the QR code. So that's it there. So the QR code is what we'll be using in a few moments. And this is the plug itself. Looks like a standard plug and extension plug, no major things. The little orange light will come on there, and this is the power plug here, and you plug. No other buttons on this, no other details. The one thing to be important to note is the CE standard with all products, and to do with electric. If it hasn't a CE standard, don't go near it. Might be half the price, might be a lot of things, but without that standard, you're walking into trouble. So the brand there, and that's just a normal, it looks a normal plug. What actually happens with it? Well, for itself, it's connected to your smartphone, and you can set it up. So what we'll do is we'll plug it in. So all intents and purposes, that's plugged in. And for this exercise, we'll plug in a light. So at this stage, there's nothing overly exciting. And so as I mentioned, the first thing you'll actually do is you'll scan there and download the Tapo app. Clicking into the app, you'll actually set it up as you would any normal app. Nothing strange on the app itself. You go through the motions, you set up an account, and you end up with something to this screen here. Within the screen itself, you've got a couple of options. You've got device location, so that's basically where you've got an icon. And this gives you a whole variety of different options that you can actually see. So it's going to be saying if you wanted a plug, fan, light, and a whole variety. So if you've got 3 or 4 of these in your house, you can actually set it up to whatever you want, and you can save that. Similarly, the name of the unit, call it a smart plug. You could call it TV, you could call it radio, you could call it a variety of different options. And location, I've just been stored in the kitchen, but again, you have a whole options of different choices to put it. And location sharing, if you've got 3 or 4 different options, you can add to it. So if you've got the camera set up, you've got the bulbs, you can actually share it there in the background. And the LED status, I like this particular part because if you have it in the bedroom, slightly annoying is actually to have a light in the background, so you can actually turn the light off. This is on the plug itself. And you've got the model IP address, MAC address. 90% of people will have no interest in the MAC IP addresses, but some techies will be very much to link to it. And that's kind of the basic setup itself. What can you actually do with the unit itself, I suppose, is your probably next question. So it can be a remote control, schedule, timer, voice control, away mode, compact design, and easy setup. That's what the manufacturers do quote. But in reality, what does that mean? So the schedule itself, I can put a schedule on to say, come on or switch off at a particular time. So I can have it turn on and set a time, and I can do it. Again, I can set away mode. Something like an Android thing where you're setting your alarm, you can put it in different modes, and on different days, you can actually start it to say on a Tuesday, come on. Very handy for if you're away from home on the weekends, for example. You can set a random light to come on, to switch on, switch off. And these can be set randomly in the background. And you've got a timer. So as you're going to bed, for example, you can set it for 30-40 minutes and it'll actually switch itself off. So if it's plugged into a light, plugged into a TV, it'll just kill the power as you would normally do. So I suppose in essence, that just gives you a little bit of history of what you're doing. So this particular one is connected to Wi-Fi. It's set in the kitchen. To turn it on, you manually press it on. You can see the light coming on there. And all it's doing is putting the power directly to here and off. And off. So that's partially what it does. Obviously from the alarm systems, lights coming on and taking it easy. And that's probably where I will say the setup, it says very easy setup, which is true. We want to do a little bit more because obviously that's one, and you can do that when you're out and about and you can set these timers. You want to do a bit more within the unit itself. What I'd probably go back to is setting up to your Alexa. So within the Alexa there, you can actually have to set it up, and it's not actually clearly defined on either the Tapo or the Alexa app. So you've got to go in here and you've got to go skills and games and then do a search for Tapo. G-A-P-O. I'll just go for Tapo, and it's just bringing up something, so it does actually recognize it. What you've now got to do is configure it. So you've got to link your Amazon account directly to the Tapo account. And within the settings, you get and you link it. And these are all just going through the motions of just setting it up and making sure that you're aware of your username and passwords, etc. for your different account, which can be, if you've got 4 or 5, it can be a bit strange. One thing I would say is if you're getting one of these, possibly get 3 or 4 the same, because if you've got 3 different brands, it becomes a nightmare swapping and changing it, as I've found out. So what's the idea here? So as it was going back to it, when you're going back to it there, what you'll find is, hi Alexa, turn the smart plug on. And Alexa's not listening. Alexa, smart plug on. Okay. So Alexa can actually do it. So obviously hands free. Alexa, plug off. Okay. So I didn't actually go deliberately to say with the same details. Alexa can be quite clever. So within Alexa I can set it for different time schedules, etc. to have it come on. Now I have it switched on to the light here. A lot of me calls Alexa, smart plug on. Alexa, smart plug on. Okay. Alexa, smart plug off. Okay. What you can also do is, a lot of people tell me, I don't like leaving my phone on charge overnight. So you can actually put it on charge. Alexa, smart plug on. Alexa, smart plug on. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually putting my charger on. So it's going to set the charging there. So a lot of people say, oh, I don't like to have it going home. So you can set this for 2 hours, for example, at night when you're going to bed. Put it on charge and it's charging in the background and it'll switch itself off. Of course, you can do it to lights. Similarly, there's a load of different features you can use it. If you're a farmer, for example, in the country and you have an electric fence, you can have it set it to tell it, switch on the plug, switch on the electricity, switch it off. So there's a multitude of options you've got there. And I suppose the big thing is having a brand that you recognize is important, because some of the configuration, some of the software updates that I would expect in 6-8 months, a year's time, whereas if the smart home, you've got 10 different products, 10 different manufacturers, it becomes a bit of a challenge because they all have the firmware updates and all that. So in the easy setup, it is easy setup. Connecting it to the likes of the Alexa, for example, or other option could cause you a few more challenges, because this manual doesn't tell you much. This particular brand is there. They're 2 different companies, so they're supposedly interlinked, and as I've just done, it does, but you have to pay a little bit of attention. And this is the future. This is the future of connections there. Just in look out of place, just a normal socket. And as I said, in this situation, I've just put it onto a few basic things. and it just works, and it's quite good. Price wise, very reasonably priced, so it's certainly not going to break the bank. And if you can link to a couple of other products, hopefully we get some of the cameras in and the additional bulbs to give a bit more of a view in the future. And that's it. So it's the Tapo P100 mini smart home Wi-Fi socket with all those features. Thank you for watching Tech Buzz Ireland.